Oh, okay. We have everybody here. First thing on the agenda is water and sewer. I got a morning update from Scott this morning. Basically, testing for Indian Falls Road has been approved by Erie County Water Authority. Testing for Knapp Road has been completed, still waiting for Erie County Water Authority approval. Testing for Kirby Road is ongoing, weather permitting. Number 4, there was an issue with pressure testing on Knapp Road on Thursday evening, valve open or it wasn't properly shut on service to the Miles residents. Caused the water to flow into the basement. Our inspector was called and got DMJ to fix the issue. I talked with Mrs. Miles this morning, seems okay on what happened and the response. So in case you've heard of anything, that's the last one on the line. So that's where we stand, as far as that goes. If anybody has any questions?
It didn't make the 18th. November 18th
No.
deadline.
No,
So then that means things are decided later on after all of the testing is done and approved, et cetera.
yeah, there's details to be worked out.
Detailed.
I guess is the right, one of the ways of putting it.
Detail is at the end.
We did get, today, a couple of bills from that Wendell okayed for DJM. One was like a couple $100,000. And one was Wendell Services for bringing them up to date, so. I would assume, do you want a copy of that to look at before we okay to pay them? Okay. Okay, planning, noise law, nothing, they've noticed on vacation this week, so we won't get anything until after Thanksgiving.
I have not received anything.
It's 2 weeks.
Well-
I'm just the night, I don't think you were here, but when he sat there, it seemed to semblance of imminent.
Sometimes these things seem easy and then you start looking at them and they're harder than you realized. So I don't think we're in any dire rush and hopefully he'll.
Fine,
As long as we get it in
Yeah.
place by. end of
March
March,
31st.
by the end of March, I would say. Okay, well, again, to your point, Doc, like, when he gets back, we'll try to get, I would like to get a draft in December. We'll look at and so.
Yeah,
after
but
the
she's
first-
gotta have time to look at it,
Yeah.
that's what it's
Yeah,
going to.
in December, and then January, we all can look at it and go through the. How Cleanest is and the Dave Cummings is and. Comments on it, but. Okay. Land bank I've got on here, you won't see that again, I'll drop that because that's what we did the last meeting, but I forgot to take it off work session.
Well, no, Dave Miller was gonna, you emailed him and he was gonna give, I don't know if he responded to you yet about that. There was.
Yeah, I did email
one
him,
Property he thought
okay,
Might be a candidate.
might be a
for it.
candidate for it and
So if we got the information from him as to why he thought it was positive, then the board might say yea or nay.
exactly.
So
Okay.
after he gets back from vacation, I hope he gets his deer.
he's in Florida,
Well, they got pumas down
he's hitting a little white thing, I think, around. But,
there, so. So the land bank is still going to be on,
beyond, yes.
don't take it off.
Okay, building projects. John?
Yeah, I got a quote from JBM Mechanical. Emily, you wanted to see that, I believe. That's what their quote is now compared to 32,600. What's the lowest?
What, 42?
Yeah.
Yeah, what-
So we're just gonna have to go out the bid, right?
right, so I'll put that together.
For, so we can have a resolution for Monday? Yeah, okay.
It went from under 35 to 42.
It was what, 32.6 to,
42,
I
5.
only have one copy of that.
10,000.
35%.
That's not bad. Would be
Well,
serious over 50.
Yeah, but the other ones,
For 2 years old.
no, they're not quite 2 years old, but if it goes out for bids, it doesn't mean just because that's what they're quoting us now, so we know where we have to be. Does, you know, there's gonna be other quotes in there yet. And hopefully,
Hopefully there will be.
because one was 45. And the other one was. I think 33 or, yeah, 33 and change, so.
Who's paying
See what
most of this?
happens.
Is it-
We paying 25%, I think 75% was covered, that was
Mhm. I agree. So the grant pays 75.
Up to a maximum of. Or whatever,
We didn't- we didn't
75.
get
There
a
was
maximum.
no
There
maximum.
was no man. Okay, so 75% of the final bid. 75, 25.
Am I the only one that's here is knocking every once in a while?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, but I don't know if that means it's bad for both of us, if we both hear it, or if it's really.
Is there someone locked in the back end, of the archive?
No, it sounds like.
Okay, so the projects for. Have that taken care of Monday? Okay, grants, nothing new on any of them. We did get some more information though that the state is giving the money to. I don't know, there's only like 20 some odd $1 million for bridges. In just. Mike and I just sat down and talked about bridges in Erie County, and that it's like a drop in a bucket compared to what is needed. So, but we don't have any, so we're not worried about that. The culverts is another phase that we'll get more information on who distributes that money, you know, and hopefully Scott's working on that. The last I knew he was, so.
There's a potential it might be distributed via the county.
Yes,
He mentioned that the last time, and that was to be determined which, whether
Yeah.
it was or wasn't.
and I think it is gonna be distributed by the county. It's just a matter of Scott should be able to report on that Monday. Highway. The storm, we fared well. As far as. I can do that.
It's
Not
the roof
having
caving
a
in.
lot of snow compared to everybody else. I mean, 2 foot's a lot, but. Compared to, my son's 6'2" and as tall as John, and he's standing in Orchard Park at his girlfriend's house. And it's right there, it was 60 some odd inches there.
They have 4 calls from people on. Where we were at.
Snow White?
Yeah, and then I have another concerning one that I think we'll have to go in executive session over. Because it's gonna have the contractual, I believe, with Newstead Fire Company, and I'm not sure, because I just got this phone call. Like minutes before I was coming here, but that's,
Okay,
so that probably should go in executive session for that.
well, we don't have to, there's no one here.
We are recording.
Oh, but we're recording. Yes, you're correct, John. So that would be contract.
I don't know if it is or not, that's what we're gonna find out.
Okay,
Always come out of executive session if we need to.
Contract is the other personnel, or it's just.
No, it's
strictly
not
contract?
personnel,
Not
it's
personnel,
with the. And that's why, hopefully Dave, like I said, this was just thrown at me before, like 10 minutes before I had to be here.
Okay.
So we'll discuss it and go from there.
Okay.
okay. Other. Recycling contract.
The 3 times.
So didn't initially they said we couldn't mix sizes and now we can?
Are we talking garbage or recycling or
Yeah, same thing. Just. different.
modern, right?
Modern.
Okay,
Okay,
Yeah, according to what Gary sent out to, they apparently had a meeting this morning that the town was not invited to, which sort of bothers me a little bit, but as long as we get through this contract.
Who had a meeting, the village and them?
Concerning the 65 and 95, I know the village had a question about picking up on Main Street and all that, which really doesn't involve the town, but the totes do, because that's why I sent out an email back to them, if the town was involved, if we could also be in this contract where the 65 gallon totes would be purchased separately by either the town or village and would be distributed by either the town or village to residents requesting them in lieu of the 95. 95 tote delivered as part of the contract will be retained by the municipality for their stockpile. Modern will pick up either 95 or 65 as part of the contract agreement.
If you went with 65, Modern would distribute the 65 to all residents.
Now, I think we're still gonna have to distribute. I mean,
Not from what I recall.
we've got
Here we go.
65 now, right?
Recycling?
That's recycled.
Yeah.
But if we go with 95 for garbage, Modern distributes it for those who don't want it. What I'm saying was, if we went with 65, then Modern has to distribute to everybody. I just, 95 is honking big.
Yeah,
some
but there are
people need
people
it.
that want
We
it.
can't go by what our needs are as a board, we have to look at what everybody's looking at.
Indeed, and
right?
I'm wondering about the number of people who say, I prefer a 65, and we're going to be on the hook for supplying a lot of 65s.
I
Well, they
asked-
get 65s.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
That was the deal. We're gonna pay the flat rate 95, but if you want a 65, go get a 65.
They're $80.
They're what?
Well, one of the 3 dots I saw was a response, was $80. In one of the emails I just
They're
read before.
$80 and then the town would keep the 95.
Right.
And
Or
that-
later on for replacement for additional ones. Yeah, I don't see where it's a.
So it's a 95 regardless.
So if we have extras of both and someone has a 65 and realizes 65 isn't what they need,
Right.
which can they just swap that and vice versa?
I
We're
don't
paying
see
for
why
the
not.
95s.
Okay,
Yeah.
So if we pay for the 95, just give me a 65 and then they keep the difference in cost. Because the 95s, I think we were quoted were more expensive. I forget the number.
Slightly.
So
Yeah,
But
but
the 95, then the 65, and then the 30 or whatever it was. So we pay for the 95, but the difference was only, what, $1,800 or 2,000?
It was under 3,000, I think. for
I
the-
think-
Well, it was 22, I think.
Doc, I think this is how think people are gonna think on it. You know, when your mom used to tell you to take a jacket, because if you don't have it, you can't put it on. Well, I think with the same thing with the 65 to a 95, most people are gonna take the 95 because if you don't need it, you can still use it, but when you need it, you have it.
Yeah, I don't want to start World War III.
No, it's not World War III, I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
From talking to
How
people
many
that
are
I
we going
talked
to
to.
need for 65? Because there might
we
be,
don't know.
might be quite a few if we had done a, what do you call that, like we did with the,
survey or some sort of.
yeah, with, I forgot the name of it, with
Yeah,
the
there
acronym.
was a-
Survey monkey.
There was.
Survey Monkey.
All response.
Well, can't we send something out to everybody who gets garbage picked up and they can request what they need? Then we'll know what they
Modern
need.
was going to send out some literature about it as part of their contract, so we could ask them to
To
notify
include that.
people that they have the choice.
That'd be convenient distribution. If I get a 95er,
You don't have to take a 95, you can take a 65er.
If you get a 95, you call and want something different, you call up and you get it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Good.
I don't see the,
That's fine. Let's move on. 95, cool.
so we're gonna go with that, the wording that. I guess. I tried to include you guys with Andy Borden so that I assume
Yeah,
they,
I'll see, because Jane said that they were going to have a final contract after tonight, so I'll
Right.
see what Andy comes up with, I don't know that it necessarily is gonna make a huge difference and
No.
it's not gonna really change the contract. So
No,
He's not
It's
hungry.
just gonna give us another option.
The only question I still have that hasn't really been answered, I guess maybe I'll call myself and ask on it is, if you want that second tote, will they pick it up 2 totes?
Like if you had 295s,
Well, 295, 265s, whatever you might have, the same with the extra recycling one. Because the alternative is wait until next week and you gotta throw bags or whatever out, so I'm curious to see what their answer would be.
right?
As long as you got the 2 totes and the truck is picking them up, that's easier than
It's
the.
gotta be in the contract, right?
Well,
It's gotta be stipulated, isn't it?
No.
It's not in the contract? I thought they had commented on that when you asked around the board.
Multiple totes. No, it's, we pay per the total number of residences, and I presume that they are going to want to count that as another residence, if there's 2 totes at one residence,
Maybe that's why they did it.
That's the second token column is your bulk item.
probably not.
I mean, just to me, it just makes more sense if someone. Is gonna have, because there's gonna be some places that. I'm trying to word this carefully, that throw out more garbage because of what they're doing.
Yeah, they don't recycle.
Well,
No,
if
that's
you
not
add
that they don't
young
recycle,
families, you
Doc.
add.
There's farms in the area that are gonna throw
Farms,
more
definitely,
trash
yeah.
out than a household.
Businesses on Akron, maybe, restaurants.
I will send out. Like, thought we got an answer on this, but I'll send out to Gary. After this meeting, so as soon as I get an answer tomorrow morning, I'll send it out to everybody on. Picking up more than 1 tote
From a resident, right?
Yeah. from a
If
resident.
they wanna purchase an extra one, to ease the
Burden.
burden as far as people
Right.
picking stuff up.
And the
Is that an
recycled totes
option?
remain the same? They're the 65s? Nothing's changing with that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, or if they do put out the second tote, just only on bulk, their bulk week, every other week. That makes, I mean, does make sense.
Well, it does, and it doesn't, because if the reason, I'm sure they have an extra guy in the truck that week, right? Because the machine
Well,
can't
it
pick
would
up the
be
garbage.
Beneficial for the resident to potentially to be
Yes.
able to have the means to wheel it out to the road.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm gonna get that 95, man, muscles.
Doc, you don't need to put like a lunch bag in there. Just throw it in your neighbors, you don't even need a tote.
My neighbor may be in the receptacle for some of the close friends.
okay,
Moving along, yeah.
next is a meeting with the village. Peter got back to me with dates of the 5th of December, which is our safety dinner. 9th of January and the 23rd of January. Those, I believe, will be meeting nights for us. 'Cause-
That is the second and fourth
Yeah.
Tuesday, yes.
December's up.
December's up.
Yeah.
Personally, for my 2 cents in, I would prefer the 23rd. Whoops, am I gonna be here?
Talk to your appointment.
The only
secretary.
reason I shy away from the 9th is it's the beginning of the fiscal year where we have a lot of resolutions and all that. And if we don't, we're gonna be booked that night, and I don't think.
I want to see the agenda first.
Well, the 23rd, to give more time to make one.
Yeah, why don't we do the 23rd? I don't have to be there.
Just as long as we know, Mr. Supervisor.
Cause I'm the one who usually gets questioned and I don't have a clue on the answer, according, like John said, they. Hit you off the wall stuff at the bottom that's not on the agenda, how can you be prepared if you don't know what's coming? Okay, so I'm gonna tell him the 23rd. Okay, next is the COVID funding status that John asked for, I will have that, hopefully. I was gone last week, Colleen sent somewhat of a draft out where, and I'll try to send it out to everybody. Explaining where the funds are, what we spent, what we haven't spent to date.
Yeah, the reason I was asking is for fire companies as far as we talked in the past. Is there any way we can get some of that back to them because of issues they had too? I'm not talking a lot of money. I think we talked numbers in executive session, but that's the reason I bring it up.
We've given them a ton of money over the last year and a half. Air conditioning, radios.
Yeah, I'm talking Akron too, though. We have both fire companies.
Oh, yeah, we better go to executive session.
Yeah.
In my comments. Okay, so we got the contract and then fire. Okay, storm update, just, we fared very well. I think there's one item on one of the trucks that broke that's being fixed. But they handled it well. Obviously, we got through everything. Only a couple mailboxes, 3 or 4, got knocked down. And if that's all we have to worry about, that's the storm report.
You know, Mike's Lothinell's mother died.
His stepmother, yes.
Stepmother, yeah.
That, Tuesday.
Mike Swoika, that was a shot. Deceased.
Yeah, not to me,
He
because
had heart issues, I
yeah, I've
think.
been following him, we've been on the Facebook, that he's been sick for several months and,
Did he have a pacemaker like you?
no. He, would just continue to go like this, and
No, he's a beast.
yes. Okay, anything, and I think it was just in your mailbox today, one lateral restriction for Monday. The okay, on Bill Road.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's all I have there. Do we want to go into executive session?
Sure. So moved.
Motion.
7:27.
7:27. No, okay, I'm just gonna add, shoot.